Honey Sound Broadcasting, an affiliate of the Bilko Media Network.
Alright, Ron. Ron, baby. Alright. You don't talk to your phone, you talk to the speakers here. Alright, so I guess here we are on our way to the Titan Missile Museum. A rare on the road and in-person edition. That's right. We've never done this live. That's right, you slob. It's always been across the country. You're getting quality here. In person. Live. Yes. Very, very good sound quality from inside of a moving vehicle. Today's topic is Assassin's Creed. Focusing on Assassin's Creed 3, but I'd like to kind of touch on the whole... Why don't you give us the full backstory and what the hell I spent 4 hours watching? Right, so I played the games. You just watched the Assassin's Creed 3 cutscenes, if you will. Somebody put together in a movie format. Yeah. So, Assassin's Creed 2, which is what I started with, because I always heard Assassin's Creed 1 isn't even worth playing. Don't even bother and waste your life. So I started with 2. Takes place in Italy, where you're this dude who runs around, you know, parkouring over the building, trying to find the pieces of Eden, which is apparently, I guess you don't really know it at the time until the end, but you're trying to, it's relics of some past civilization that existed before humans that we know today. Yeah. The precursor. So the whole thing is you find this piece of Eden, and then the game ends, more or less. And then Assassin's Creed 3 picks up where that game left off, and you're trying to, like, open the piece of Eden, if that's what I'm trying to... Like, open the apple, is that right? You're supposed to open a... Yeah, you're supposed to open a door, and there's something called the apple, which makes people... crazy. Which makes people crazy / just allows the plot to move. Yeah, so... Well, Assassin's Creed 3 takes place during colonial America. Yeah. And it's really 2 games in 1. Well, 3 games in 1, really, because at first you're playing as... I forget his name. Desmond. Well, Desmond is the main guy in today's world. And then he goes back and does... what's the colonial guy's name? You remember? The British Templar guy? Yeah. Whatever, we'll just call him the British Templar guy. Yeah. So you play with him for about 25% of the game. Okay. And then all of a sudden you're playing as his kid, which is some Indian dude. Yeah. And then you're playing with him for the rest of the game. Yeah. You play as and now I understand that he is a Templar, not an assassin. Yeah. He seems to basically have all of the parkour and assassination skills as an assassin. Right. So I don't know if you picked this up when you watched the movie, but when you first played the game, you always thought he was an assassin. You had no idea he was a Templar until, that one cutscene where they, reveal they're all Templars. Because the way they set it up during the game is you really think that this is the guy you're playing with and this is your dude as an assassin. But then it's like, oh, no, there's a twist. He's really a Templar. And it's like, oh, okay. Yeah. Can you detail a little bit, just for those of us who don't understand, what the whole assassin versus Templar thing is about? So, I might not be able to explain this correctly, but it has to do with... I don't even know. I just feel like they just fight each other just to fight each other. There's no good guy, there's no bad guy. It's just... We know who the good guy is. The game wants you to know the good guy. True. That's our boy GW. That's our founder of our country. That's the colonialist. Yeah. Yeah, they're the good guys, all right. Yep. But when you look at the whole Templar versus Assassin's Creed, overall the game, not just focusing on this one, but overall the game. I mean, they kind of set up the Templars as the bad dudes, but at the end of the day, I feel like the Templars only exist to fight the Assassins, and the Assassins only exist to fight the Templars. And I don't know why they're fighting. Right. You don't know what the stakes are. Right. In this generation-long battle. Yeah. So there isn't one. There isn't. Not that I can recall or tell. Okay. So the premise though is that there are 2 groups throughout time immemorial that have been fighting each other for reasons, okay? And that's the Assassins and the Templars.
Yes.
Okay? And in the present day, we have discovered how to not time travel, but do something that's like time travel.
I wanted to get into this because this is, like, I think I even said this. This series is my BioShock.
Yes. This is why we're here.
Why
we're doing this. Because you have a very mixed and complicated relationship.
I have a love-hate relationship with this game and this series.
Yes.
And I think it has to do with this whole time travel, but not really time travel piece of it. And I want to get into the whole Animus thing because, and again, I don't know what you got out of watching just the movie.
What is the Animus?
So the Animus is the machine that they use to go, quote-unquote, back in time.
Okay.
But what happens is they have, just like at Stargate, genetic memory.
Okay.
And so every forefather of assassins has what's called genetic memory. And it's like built into your DNA somehow. So the Animus allows you to access those memories.
Okay.
So, and this is why I don't like this, because it's a memory, right? It already happened. You can't change the past. You're essentially watching a movie. So when you go into the Animus, are you actually doing the moves? Or are you just watching the movie of your ancestors' memory?
Well, I think the answer is that you have to be watching the movie, right?
Right, because it's a memory.
Right. Because if you're not able to influence past events,
right,
then you're basically only able to watch.
Right. So it's just a movie at the end of the day. So why am I even bothering with the video game? I think this would have been a lot more cooler if it was actually time travel, where they send you into the past and you have to like do things to like fix the past or manipulate the past, or do like Desmond should actually have to go back in time instead of just access memory.
It really does kind of drop the stakes.
Right.
To basically have these things be memories. And okay, so speaking of stakes, can you explain what the hell is going on at like literally the very first 5 minutes and the very last 5 minutes of this game? Because apparently all of this was to stop the world from blowing up for some reason.
Yes.
Right? Which is never adequately explained why this is happening.
So apparently this is like a cyclical thing. And this is what destroyed the original civilization. Because there was like some scientists back in the day that discovered this was going to happen, but they didn't have time to finish their research, and their world gets destroyed.
Okay.
And the only people that were left were humans, and humans were some biological experiment that these people were doing, kind of like Jurassic Park.
Okay.
And then the humans escaped, and somehow they were the ones who survived, and everybody else died, and that was your original Adam and Eve that then, evolved into humanity that we know today.
Okay.
But all these precursor people left behind clues and their research and stuff like that, so that one day people like Desmond can come around and solve it and save the world from this happening again. So what was the actual cause of the end of the world? I'm blanking on the details there, but that's what you're trying to solve in this game, because you uncovered that, it happened in the past, and we need to solve it now because, look at that, it just happens to be Doomsday right now. So that's what that was about, if that helps explain things.
Okay. Why did the Templars want to stop Desmond? Because presumably the Templars live on the Earth,
right,
when it's about to blow up.
Yes. And again, I don't understand, because the Templars only exist to fight assassins.
Yes.
No matter what the assassins do, Templars must stop them.
Yes.
And vice versa. If whatever the Templars do, the assassins must stop them.
Yeah.
Even if that means stopping the assassins from saving the world, the Templars must fight them for the simple reason that they are assassins.
I'm really not expecting an answer to this, but because the Templars and assassins, assassin is like I don't know, it's Arabic or originally, but I can't imagine that like the term assassin goes back towards the millennia, and the Templars certainly don't. Like so like there are these precursors, and they're the Templars and the assassins. But what are we all doing like before like the year 1000 AD? Like what are what's going on there? Because those are two relatively recent groups. I mean, when you're considering like the whole history of human civilization, both. I mean, there is no group of assassins that are called the assassins.
Right.
The Templars were historical.
They were a historical real thing.
Yeah. And it's like they only show up in like the last millennium.
Right.
Okay. And so what is the?
Right.
But there's probably not an explanation there. It's just like
there might be, because the most recent Assassin's Creed game, which may not have even come out yet, takes place in ancient Egypt.
Okay.
So we might get some explanation there as to maybe the founding of the Templars or the Assassins or
the Pharaohs versus the Israelites.
Yeah. Who knows?
I found a baby in the reeds. He jumped out the basket and like had a little dagger and stabbed me in the heart.
Right. So, I mean, overall, I like the idea of the Assassin's Creed. I like the historical context of it. I like because how often do you go to Renaissance Italy or colonial America in a video game? It doesn't happen, right?
Yeah, they're not frequently. I mean, anything that's outside of like the Western Front in World War II,
right?
Is like ooh, yeah.
So I like that aspect of the game, but just the execution of it, I just don't get. I don't understand from the context of the video game, I understand why they did what they did with the Animus and being genetic memory, because if you're playing...
Oh, we're back after a little interruption on the road of Bill. That's what we were talking about.
I think I was talking about the memory, how there's like a wall. And the reason why they did genetic memory instead of actual time travel is so that because it is a video game, they don't want you to go into certain spots. And the reason they can get around that is by putting this wall in place. But to me, it's like, I wish this was time travel. It would be so much better. Or get rid of the whole Desmond piece. Just
really,
make it the act.
Really, honestly, okay, because that's what my first note here is that the whole everything about like this return to the present plot.
I just don't care.
Well, it's
about Desmond at all.
It's just superfluous. What does this add to the story?
Nothing.
What does this add to the characters you're investing in? The characters you play for 90% of the game. And again, I watched the thing. I didn't play through the game.
Right.
But it doesn't seem like you're playing as Desmond a lot. It seems like you play through him like once in Brazil. These random.
Okay. So when you come out of the Animus and you go on these dumb side missions, I just felt so drained having to do this because I just don't care about Desmond. I can't tell you how many times I just gave up playing for several months during this Assassin's Creed 3 game because I just didn't care. When I hit the Desmond scene, I'm like, I really don't want to play as him in these dumb modern scenes because it's so different and it's so tedious and it's so mind-numbing on these scenes with him. And it's just, why? Why am I even playing as him? Why didn't I actually play as the real Connor?
Well, the thing about it is that you have like basically two parallel non-interacting storylines. So like you're when you were saying earlier that like it's like 3 games in one. Like that's right, okay? Because I mean, you can make an argument that the Templar dad and assassin kid
that's two.
Like that's two, but really they are the same. They are the same game because like those are characters that interact with each other, have meaningful interactions.
Right.
And like, but Desmond does not have, and his two. And his bitchy, passive aggressive dad, and his two tech people who, like, I don't even know their names.
I don't remember them either.
Whatever, like, all of this, and that's right. It's just like, my first note here is they just really give up on the journey of the past thing, don't they? Because he straps down this thing, and then you're in this entirely other story for like what seems like a few hours.
Yep.
You know?
Yep.
And then you just sort of like, oh wait, hang on. Oh yeah, I guess none of that is actually happening, and the real story is this guy in a hoodie who is not that engaging. He's not. His story is that interesting. You know,
It's not an interesting story, and the missions he actually goes on is just completely, just mind-numbingly tedious. In every game across the board, they do the same kind of thing where you like pop out of the Animus and have to go on these dumb side missions, and I just don't care. I would just want to get back to the historical game I want to play.
Yeah.
But Tristan, I think I was supposed to say this up front. What do you think of this game?
Well, Bill, I'll tell you.
I thought it might bring clarity or instill a sense of accomplishment, but all I feel is regret.
And that's how I feel about this game. 4 out of 10. I mean, you know, like I'll just skip to basically the end, where it's like I think that one of the things I noticed about this that makes it kind of different from BioShock is that I feel from watching it, and I didn't play it, but I do feel like the gameplay at least is sort of fun to participate in.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's what you do. You don't go do this game for the cutscenes. You do this for like the jumping around and the killing, like assassination, in that kind of context.
But the
the beautiful scenery. They did a great job with the look.
I can tell that. I can definitely tell that, and all the costuming and stuff like that. But like BioShock Infinite, one of the ways it absolutely just steps on the rake and gets smacked in the face is this very, I'm just gonna say, sophomoric way of doing story. Okay, and what I mean by that is I really do feel like I understood where you were coming from when I watched this game, and because the similarities between the protagonist in BioShock Infinite and the protagonist in this game, so I wrote down, combat and violence in video games is so character limiting. Any character bio either needs to accommodate the psychopathic character that wades through a sea of bodies by making him a minimum of an anti-hero and at worst a monster. And this needs to happen in order to avoid gameplay story dissonance with gameplay that fundamentally resolves itself through violence.
Yes.
and one of the things here that is just so incredible is this very uncritical look at violence, and basically there seems to be massive blind spot for the protagonist, because the protagonist is all about, and we'll get into the problems of the protagonist later, but you know what his problems with motivation. But you know, I have here there's a scene 90 minutes in where our hero brutally murders 8 redcoats to protect some dude he's never met for rent eviction. Okay.
Yes.
And it really is. I stumble across this guy in front of his house, and I kill the 8 people trying to get him out of his house. There's not, you know, but because like the fundamental gameplay element of this game is stealth and then murdering people. And if you don't have interactions like that, like in the store, you don't have a game. And there are moments in this game where you're not doing that, and those just look really, really dumb to me. Like there's a moment where you're running around like a horse and directing people to fire as if they wouldn't do that on their own.
Right.
Or like,
right. I remember that part.
Shooting them. Also, I wrote down here, he dumped 55 out of 100 is the dumbest thing that I've ever seen on a screen. That's where you take place in the Boston Tea Party, and your job is to, by the way, nobody dressed up as Indians, which is what I remember what the
original did.
And you are a Native American running around, but you're murdering British reinforcements as they desperately try to stop you from throwing tea off a boat. Like you just murder like 4 people of like just these mooks trying to stop you from dumping tea. I'm pretty sure that happened. So yeah, like there's a huge problem just in this game and video games in general with reconciling like what is being said and done in the story and what the main character is doing. Because there are moments where Assassin's son challenges Templar Dad. Templar Dad's like, I'm going to kill these prisoners because I don't feel like feeding them biscuits, you know? and the kid is like, how could you do that? That's so wrong. And then he goes off and smashes this guy's head on because he was trying to get this guy out of his apartment because he wouldn't pay back rent.
Right.
Like, I mean, like, you don't have any room to talk, and it's the exact same thing with Bioshock Infinite, right? You know?
Yes, it is.
Whereas it's like the main motive, the crux of that story is that this guy participated in a massacre, and by the time you finish, and that leads directly to all the events of the game, and and he has a huge moral reflection there. But by the time you finish the game, you killed about 20 times the people that were ever involved in that massacre, and with no reflection whatsoever. So yeah, there's a phrase for this, and it's called pseudo-narrative dissonance. My favorite, $5 word when it comes to discussing video games, because it basically when your story is about these high-minded ideals of freedom and liberty and stuff like that. Meanwhile, you're going around in life and killing everybody.
Yeah, what gives you that right to do that?
Right. Like, the refusal to address that contradiction results in this real discord when you're playing the game. All right,
Yep.
It really is like you're just slamming your fingers down on the piano and you don't know what you're doing. So, speaking of liberty and freedom and
justice for all,
and let's just put a fine point on it, slavery, okay, and also say colonialism. What do you think about the handling of these subjects, given, of course, as the game reminds you at the very beginning, this was made by a group of multi-faith and cultural people, which it's very clear that they're trying to be woke here, okay?
Yeah. They don't want to piss anybody off.
Right.
I mean, in the context of this game, Assassin's Creed 3, there wasn't too much reference to slavery that I recall.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I think they did a little bit here and there, but it was all very safe.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't as brutal as it probably was in real life.
Mm-hmm.
So I think they took the safe route and just tried to ignore that whole overlay of this time period.
I wouldn't say they ignored it, but they would just sort of bring it up to quickly condemn it.
Yes.
Right?
Yes. That's kind of what I meant.
Right? But all the examination of race and of colonialism in this game is just the shallowest puddle.
Well, it's not realistic. The people back then would not have had that reaction.
No. Like, the refusal to examine why people thought this way and why, and how people justify things themselves, like, that element is completely missing. Okay?
Yeah. And like I said, it's a very modern overtone of colonialism back then, when in reality those people would not have had that kind of reaction in real life.
Which I think if you had, to go back to your idea, okay, if you wanted to do this, if you wanted to have like say a modern perspective on why not again literally make it a time travel thing and actually have modern day Desmond be shocked at seeing
slavery and all and have that kind of reaction
and the
because he's coming to you with a modern
exactly. But this Iroquois guy, all right, is not a modern guy. No, he is not a person who is even I would really expect him to struggle a lot with the cultural differences between, and the Iroquois were, it's their confederation. They have I think their own language. These people would be able to pick up, things like speaking English and stuff, but it would still be an alien culture to them. I feel like he kind of blends in way too well in colonial America.
Yeah, especially when it's just running around Boston.
Yeah,
nobody questions.
Yeah. This guy obviously has very Native American features. But I don't know if that's being ridiculous anyway. But also, and this is my main problem with the game, is, and they sort of acknowledge it at the very end, where he's kind of well, I guess the colonists were going to do what's right for them. And I was like, yes, that's what they always did. Did you not pay attention about 2/3 of the way through the story where they're like, hey, by the way, Washington burned down your village, and incredibly, basically there's no revelation about how shitty the colonists are that can ever shake his faith in the American Revolution. This Native American guy is more patriotic and has more faith in the American Revolution than literally anybody fucking directing it.
I did think that was weird, of how he was all for the revolution and all that.
Yeah, and there's a moment where and okay, so he is talking to Templar Dad at this point, okay, and he's having the reason the Templars suck speech, and it's you're so bad, and I wrote this down, and this is after he's already frat bros with George Washington. He's talking to his Templar Dad and you choose to ally with those who would deprive us of our humanity. And I'm just Washington owns slaves! He owns them right now!
Yeah.
If you go to Washington's home in this time, you will find slaves greeting you. What? And then another, and then his assassin mentor, okay, who I believe is also a former slave.
Yes, I think so.
Okay, all right. Former slave to a Russian native. Okay, so this is a former slave talking to a Native American. The colonist struggle is your struggle. And I just wrote, what is even happening here? Why is even happening here? It's basically saying that these two landed gentry classes, of which you have basically no stake. If one wins or the other one wins, you're basically going to be as well off as you were before. Okay? But we're supposed to believe that this cause is so amazing and just and righteous that it's just going to absolutely peel up. So, there's a ton of revisionist history going on here. That's what I'm trying to say.
Yep.
Is that, everything is just, all the problems with colonialism and slavery and all that stuff is wiped out. And I think the closest it goes is, and I'll let Templar Dad speak for me here, is...
It's an invitation to chaos. Only look at this little revolution your friends have started. I have stood before the Continental Congress and listened to them stamp and shout, all in the name of liberty. but it is just noise.
And this is why you favor Lee?
He understands the needs of this would-be nation far better than the jobberknolls who profess to represent it.
It seems your tongue has tasted sour grapes. The people have made their choice, and it was Washington.
People chose nothing. It was done by a group of privileged cowards seeking only to enrich themselves. They convened in private and made a decision that would benefit them. Oh, they might have dressed it up with pretty words. That does not make it true.
And that's how, that's the truth. That's the truth about what these colonists were doing. Because it wasn't like they were all just motivated for, you know, like liberty and, like, two-thirds of the people living in the country at the time did not want
To break away from the British.
From the British, okay? It was literally some of the richest people on the damn continent who wanted to say, hey, you know, I have 50 slaves, but I could really use 60. You know, that's who you're fighting for. That's who you're throwing your lot in with. And when it's just like at the very end, oh, I guess that, you know, they betrayed me, and, you know, it's not gonna work out for my people, and oh, yeah, like, the precursor lady just basically telling him, yeah, no, it was actually a really great thing that your village burned down and your people are gonna get wiped out, because that means the Americans can come along. And it's just like, Jesus Christ, what the fuck?
Yeah, it's so weird. Like the whole, I think this game would have been better if you didn't play as an Indian, but an actual colonial fighting for America.
Yes, someone who has
someone who has a stake in what's going on here.
Right. Someone who, you know, in the war isn't like 5 seconds over. That, you know, they're not just, their entire people aren't just getting wiped out by their former allies.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, that's what's gonna happen, man. And it's clear that they really wanted this to be like grand in scope. And they wanted it to be like very multicultural. You know.
Well, I mean, that's why they picked an Indian or Native American as your protagonist.
Yeah.
They wanted that multicultural, you know, feel, I guess.
But it gets totally wiped away because his identity as an Iroquois and as a Native American is completely superseded by his identity as an assassin.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
Like, he does not dress in Native American garb. He does not. There's some like superficial, like, you know, Native American stuff, like in like putting an axe in a tree or something. You know. But for the most part, his identity is entirely enveloped in this fictitious order of assassins, which somehow also a slave belongs to as well. And I feel like a former slave might have a use for assassination skills, and might not just like decide, well, you know, I'm just gonna hang up the old hat and teach this.
I didn't know when this game launched they had a ton of glitches.
Oh yeah,
and problems. Yeah, with like you'd be watching a cutscene and some guy would just like fly off, or like his neck would like turn sideways, and all kinds of problems throughout. It was a really big deal when it launched. But a game of this scope, like, you know, it's kind of understandable.
I mean, it did, like you said earlier, it looks like a beautiful game. It looks like a very engaging gameplay. One thing I do have, like, here that's criticism of gameplay is that the British fight you with guns, and they fight with the guns like they don't know that guns can fire bullets, and they just these sticks they picked up, and they're gonna fight you like quarterstaff.
Yep.
Like, I think I saw like someone shoot the player character like maybe 5 times, and you know, I miss, right? You know, miss from 5 feet away, you know. But they all just kind of approach him one on one like Jackie Chan.
They do all like just come right at you one at a time,
and they don't even try to bayonet you. They try to club you with the butt of their gun. Templar Dad is the only character
character I like. I liked him too. I'm like, I wish I could play with him the whole time. Why wasn't he an assassin?
Because
Like he was supposed to be.
Because, like, this is a guy who has the personality to be. It's like, if you're just totally cool with, like, killing people because, like, you might have to feed them for a day, like, before you let them go, like, that's the person who will run around and just, like, flash up British people willy-nilly. Okay, that is the character who will do that. Yeah, I wish I could play as he was the only one.
He comes back, actually, in a later installment.
Oh, good, because his voice actor is very good. Okay, one thing that I gotta ask, and I just have to figure out, what's going on when, like, you kill someone and then you get an extended death scene in the white Matrix room?
That happens in every game. I don't really understand it myself, but yeah, when you assassinate somebody, quote unquote, you get this. He like spills the beans of like everything you want to know. Like you said, in this weird room of I don't understand it because I mean, even if you kill somebody and there's like 50 other people shooting at you, it's like time stops.
Well, okay,
and he like spills the beans of everything you want to know.
Okay, yeah, but another thing here is that time stops, except that it doesn't, because I remember. Okay, sorry, there was one other character that I liked, and he's a total ripoff from some character I can't remember. But he's the guy who's chomping on the cigar and is walking around as everybody's getting like blown up
with
and
like a mustache.
Yeah, I think so. I think he's got a mustache, but he's like the hard as nails, the military commander who's just like, you know, like there's gunfire everywhere. He's walking around, he's pissed off. But you are gonna get hung, okay? Because I can't remember a reason, and you know, you kill somebody, the guy who like betrayed or like informed on you, and then you have an extended like in the Matrix death scene with them, and then when you come back out of it, like people have moved and like people are surrounding you now. So like, what's going on here?
I don't know. That.
Yeah.
It's very strange, but that happens in every game.
To be honest, just ditch the whole going back to the past thing.
It should, like I said, the game should be the whole past. Like, you should play as Connor. You should play as Templar Dad, not a faded memory of Templar Dad. And get rid of Desmond. He does die, by the way, which in this game, right?
Yeah, he dies at the very end.
Because in the next game, they ditched his whole storyline completely. And I'm like, thank God. But you still pop out of the Animus every now and then.
Yeah.
And another piece that I didn't really like, that I don't think you would have gotten out of the movie, was like all the extra bits you have to like find. Like there's feathers you have to find, and like different treasure chests and stuff like that are throughout the world. But they give you that in a map, and it's like there's no sense of exploration or any of that, because they like you find these little dots on a map and you go to it and there it is, and then you go to the next dot, and then you go to the next dot, and then you go to the next dot. Like there's no sense of discovery. It's all laid out for you, and you have to go find these stupid things, and it's just not that fun because it's so tedious and time consuming.
Yeah, I don't feel like I missed much by watching the movie.
Well, you did miss the actual gameplay aspect of it, and like the specific missions are fun, but that's only like, you know, a quarter of the game. Because when you actually do the missions, I enjoy it, but there's just so much other tedious and dumb things about it. That's why it's like a love-hate thing. I will try to get the next one, or the next one I need to play is the French Revolution one, and I think there's a British Industrial Revolution one too.
Okay.
And then the latest one is the Ancient Egypt one. So these things come out like clockwork. Like every year there's a new Assassin's Creed game.
It can't be good then. Like you can't.
Right, well everything just feels rushed when you play these, and that's why there's like so many glitches in that one, because they gotta meet that timeline, right? Ubisoft has their whole thing laid out. And they're milking this franchise like you wouldn't believe.
Wasn't there an Assassin's Creed movie, too?
There was a movie, I haven't seen it yet. But I think it's a retelling of one or two. Well, do you have any final thoughts on Assassin's Creed? Does watching this movie inspire you to play any of the games?
No, no, and I think that it's really fun. Like the parkour aspect of it.
That has gotten less and less as the franchise has gone on. I've noticed.
So because that's the thing that I look at it. It's like I look at that and I go, that's really cool, but that's the most complicated thing in the game probably to get right. And
well, when it just took place in like a city or two in Renaissance Italy, buildings were like all over the place. Then once you got into 3, now you're talking about Boston. Now you're talking about like whole forests.
Yeah.
And then once you get to Assassin's Creed 4, which is Black Flag, it's pirates. So you're like sailing between islands. It's like the whole parkour aspect of this kind of
drops off.
Yeah, it drops off. Because there's just not anything to do that against anymore.
Yeah, that would be my only thing that I would say that I would kind of like about it, because I would like that kind of game. I would like I think that they could do a good thing where like they world build a little by you overhearing conversations, and that would be kind of cool. Following people around and like hearing their conversations and stuff. But ultimately, the core problem with this game is the interaction between story and gameplay, making the story ridiculous, and the poor characterization and motivation of the main character.
Yeah.
That's what I would say. Is that these are the main failings of the game, and if you were to
and the poor tie-in between modern day like Desmond and the historical people.
I'm just really writing like the Desmond plot like off, and all the prequel stuff completely off.
Yeah, you don't even need that.
Oh yeah. I have one more thing to say. Everything involving the fucking precursor lady, I wanted to claw my eyes out. It was just so fucking boring.
Yeah.
It was like eons ago, before the dawn of man, I was really mad at my husband who put himself in a machine. And it's like, I don't care about any of this. Like,
get rid of that nonsense.
Yeah.
Get rid of Desmond.
Yeah.
And just let me play in colonial America.
Yeah.
I don't need this dumb overtone of some past made-up civilization.
Yeah. Don't make the Templars and Assassins fight over this ancient and mysterious precursor artifact that can just make it about like some gold.
Yeah.
Or like a whole bunch of jewels and diamonds.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, make it something that like
is real.
Right. Something that you can understand. Oh, if these guys got a hold of that would be bad for this and that reason, and to make that understandable. Like, yeah, you can do the world blowing up thing fine. And by the way, oh god, at the end, the outro was just the dumbest thing in the world. It was the laziest thing in the world. It was like the laziest thing you can do storytelling-wise, is the newscast. Okay. I don't want to say storytelling. It's lazy bit of exposition. Okay, because the news is always there, but and it's just and it was unintentionally hilarious because the thing that's going to blow up the world for some reason, at the very end, ends up creating a bunch of auroras, okay? And, like, the newscaster is like, reports are saying a worldwide aurora is going on. And it's like, you don't need the news to tell you that. Like, if you walked outside and saw a giant aurora, And he's just saying it like it's like the Brewers won 5-4 today. It's like this the massive worldwide aurora. Yeah, like
this minor thing.
Yeah. So I'll tell you, it is not something that it just seems like the care and the effort was completely absent from like the superfluous Desmond precursor storyline. It really just needed to be dropped, and that's where you would begin if you wanted to rehabilitate.
Right, and then do it right.
Yeah,
because there's a lot of good context here. Like there is. Fun. Like at the core, there's a good, there's a good story here and a good idea, but you just jumble it up and it's just.
And there are moments of depth and complication, like when the guy was just like, "You killed me and I only wanted peace." But that was like 15 seconds of reflection of, hey, maybe you shouldn't stab literally everyone who you get pointed at, and oh yeah, you should kill this guy. Okay. Why did you kill me? I don't know. Fighting my boy Washington. Maybe if you had a bit of critical examination of that, this would have been a good story. Or maybe if you just really just I want the Templar stabby dude, the Templar dad. I want to play as him. I want only him in the story. Yeah.
Yeah, that was my thought too. Is when I switched to the Native American, like I just didn't like playing as him as much as I did the Templar dad.
Yeah. Yep. Okay. Well, signing off. Another amazing, high quality
live session.
All right. I'm out.
This has been a presentation of Honey Sound Broadcasting, an affiliate of the Bilko Media Network.